If you were born before 1958, the Social Security Administration might owe you an additional $26,400. And the most heartbreaking part of this reality is that the vast majority of seniors will never claim a single dime of it. Right now, we are living through an economic environment where inflation is silently eating away at your hard-earned retirement savings. The cost of basic groceries feels like a luxury, and Medicare premiums are constantly climbing higher and higher. You simply cannot afford to leave your own money on the table. But there is a very specific set of rules buried deeply within the massive, complicated Social Security manual that applies exclusively to your specific age group. This hidden framework unlocks a massive financial payout that the government simply does not advertise on television or in the brochures they mail out. You clicked on this presentation because you want to know exactly how to get what is rightfully yours, and I'm going to walk you through every single step of the process. My entire professional life has been dedicated to untangling the incredibly complex web of retirement laws, protecting hardworking seniors from endless bureaucratic red tape, and making absolutely sure that families do not get shortchanged by a system they paid into their entire working lives. You did your part. You woke up early, you worked hard, you paid your taxes, and you contributed to the system for decades. Now it is time for the system to do its part for you. Today, we are going to break down exactly where this $26,400 figure comes from. We will uncover the specific withholding rule that has silently trapped millions of Americans, the critical benefit sequencing strategy that the representatives at your local Social Security office rarely take the time to explain, and finally, the exact words you need to use when you pick up the phone to call the administration. By the end of our time together, you will know precisely if you qualify for this money and exactly how to trigger this payout to secure your financial future. Let us start by addressing one of the most fundamentally misunderstood aspects of the entire Social Security system, and that is the earnings limit withholding rule. I want to put my second most important strategy right here at the beginning because it affects so many people. If you decided to claim your benefits before reaching your full retirement age, but you continued to work a part-time job or perhaps you consulted on the side to make ends meet, you likely ran into the dreaded earnings test. The administration has a strict rule. If you are under your full retirement age and you earn above a certain annual limit, which historically hovers around $21,000 or $22,000 depending on the specific year, the government withholds $1 in benefits for every $2 you earn above that limit. I want you to really think about what that means. You are working hard to supplement your income, and the government is actively holding back the benefits you rightfully claimed. For many seniors, this feels like an absolute punishment for trying to survive in a tough economy. They see their checks reduced. They see the letters from the administration explaining the withholding, and they resign themselves to the belief that this money is gone forever. They think it has vanished into the massive black hole of the federal government. But here is the truth that changes everything. That money is not gone. It was never meant to be a permanent penalty. The law clearly states that once you finally reach your full retirement age, the Social Security Administration is required to recalculate your monthly benefit amount to give you credit for those months where your benefits were withheld. They are supposed to increase your ongoing monthly check to slowly pay you back every single dollar they kept from you. But here is the tension. The system is run by a massive, outdated computer network and overwhelmed federal employees. Mistakes happen constantly. Recalculations are missed, delayed, or calculated incorrectly. If you had just a few $100s withheld every month over the course of 3 or 4 years leading up to your full retirement age, that pool of withheld money easily reaches $26,400. Have you ever stopped to wonder how many seniors are sitting at home right now, struggling to pay for their prescription medications, completely unaware that the government is sitting on a pile of their withheld earnings? Did you know that recent audits of the Social Security Administration have revealed billions of dollars in underpayments and errors over the years? The burden of proof, the burden of catching these mistakes, falls entirely on your shoulders. You cannot simply trust that the system will automatically fix itself. You have to actively review your earnings record, look at the years you were penalized, and demand a manual review of your benefit recalculation once you hit your full retirement age. I have seen countless cases where a simple, polite, but firm request for a recalculation audit resulted in a massive retroactive adjustment. The money is yours, but you have to be the one to raise your hand and ask for it. Do not let the bureaucracy intimidate you into leaving your compensation behind. Now, we need to transition into something even more critical. And this is where the specific year you were born becomes the most important factor in your retirement planning. If you were born before 1958, you are in a unique, highly protected class of beneficiaries because of the way the government shifted the full retirement age goalposts. People born in 1957 or earlier reach their full retirement age at 66 and 6 months, or 66 and 8 months. If you were born in 1958, your full retirement age is 66 and 10 months. Because you have either already reached this critical milestone or are passing through it right now, you have access to a set of rules that younger generations simply do not have yet, and in some cases never will. The most powerful of these rules revolves around spousal and survivor benefit sequencing. Let me paint a very clear picture for you. Imagine a widow who lost her husband after a long, difficult illness. She is devastated, but she eventually has to face the reality of her finances. She walks into her local Social Security office, sits down with a representative, and asks for her benefits. In far too many cases, the overworked agent simply looks at the computer, sees that she is eligible for both her own retirement benefit and her deceased husband's survivor benefit, and automatically processes the application that pays the highest amount on that specific day. It seems helpful, right? It seems like they are doing her a favor, but it is actually a massive financial tragedy. By claiming the highest benefit immediately, the agent has permanently locked her out of tens of thousands of dollars in future growth. Here is what the agent should have told her, and here is what you need to know if you find yourself in a similar situation. If you are a widow or widower and you have reached your full retirement age, you possess the incredible right to restrict your application entirely to your survivor benefits, while allowing your own personal retirement benefit to sit untouched and grow. Every single year you delay claiming your own benefit past your full retirement age, the government guarantees you an 8% increase in your payout, known as delayed retirement credits. You can live off the survivor benefit from age 66 up to age 70. During those 4 years, your own benefit is growing by a massive 32%. Then, exactly on your 70th birthday, you switch off the survivor benefit and switch on to your now supercharged personal benefit. The financial difference between making this simple switch and just claiming the highest amount on day one is absolutely staggering. Over the course of a normal retirement, this strategic sequencing gap easily exceeds $26,400. But I need you to lean in and listen very closely to what I am about to tell you, because we are about to cover the absolute biggest mistake people make and the single most powerful loophole that can drop a massive check into your bank account almost overnight. Before we get into the exact mechanics of how to trigger this instant payout, you need to understand that the administration is legally forbidden from giving you personal financial advice. They are order takers. They will process what you ask them to process, but they will not strategize for you. That is why you must arm yourself with this knowledge before you ever pick up the phone. The ultimate strategy, the true secret behind the $26,400 figure in our title, is the 6-month retroactive lump sum claim combined with the power of delayed retirement credits. This is the absolute best piece of information I can give you, which is why I saved it for this crucial moment. As we established earlier, if you were born before 1958, you have already reached your full retirement age. Many of you listening right now have intentionally chosen to delay taking your benefits. You are living off your savings, or maybe you are still working a little bit because you want to earn that guaranteed 8% return every single year until you reach age 70. You are making a very smart, very calculated decision to maximize your lifetime payout. But life is completely unpredictable. What happens if you are 68 years old, you've been delaying your benefits for 2 years to let them grow, and suddenly the roof of your house caves in? What if your spouse has a sudden medical emergency that your insurance refuses to fully cover? What if the relentless inflation we are experiencing right now finally drains your emergency savings account and you desperately need a large infusion of cash just to survive the year? Most people in this situation panic. They think their only option is to go down to the bank and take out a terrible, high-interest personal loan, or to put all of these massive expenses on a credit card that charges 20% interest. They lie awake at night, terrified of the debt they are accumulating, completely unaware that the federal government is holding a massive pile of their cash, waiting to be claimed. Because you are past your full retirement age, the Social Security Administration allows you to exercise a little-known provision called the retroactive lump sum request. When you finally decide to file for your benefits, you do not have to accept the current month as your start date. You have the absolute right to tell the administration that you want your benefits to begin exactly 6 months in the past. When you do this, the government is legally required to write you a single massive lump sum check for those 6 months of retroactive benefits. Let us do the math on this right now. If your delayed benefit at age 68 or 69 has grown to the maximum allowable amount, which for high earners is roughly $4,400 a month, and you ask for a 6-month retroactive start date, the government will deposit exactly $26,400 directly into your bank account. Think about the sheer power of that option. You essentially have a $26,000 emergency fund sitting in the vaults of the federal government, growing risk-free, that you can call upon whenever you face a massive life crisis. You do not have to beg a bank for a loan. You do not have to sell your home. You just have to know your rights and tell the Social Security agent exactly what to do. The tension here, the danger that you must avoid, is that if you do not ask for the retroactive lump sum, they will not offer it to you. If you just say, I want to start my benefits today, they will start them today, and those past 6 months of cash will remain completely out of your reach, permanently converted into a slightly higher monthly check that takes decades to break even on. If you need the cash now, you must explicitly demand the 6-month retroactive payout. Furthermore, you need to understand the exact phrasing to use. When you call the national toll-free number or visit your local branch, you must specifically state, I am filing for my retirement benefits, and I am formally requesting a 6-month retroactive start date under the rules for beneficiaries past full retirement age. Write that sentence down. Memorize it. That is your shield against bureaucratic incompetence. The agents are human. They make mistakes. They get tired. If an agent tells you that this is not possible, or that you do not qualify despite being past your full retirement age, you must politely but firmly ask to speak to a supervisor. You must escalate the situation because your financial security is on the line. You have paid into this system for 40 or 50 years. You have earned the right to utilize every single legal provision available to you to protect your family and your future. Let us briefly recap the absolute most important things we have covered today so that you are fully armed and prepared. First, if you had benefits withheld due to the earnings limit before you reached your full retirement age, you must verify that the administration has actively recalculated your monthly benefit to pay you back. Do not assume their computers caught the change. Demand an audit of your record. Second, if you are a widow or widower who has reached full retirement age, you must deeply investigate the strategy of restricting your application to survivor benefits while letting your own benefit grow by 8% a year until age 70. Never blindly accept the agent's offer to just give you the highest check on day one without running the long-term math. Third, and most importantly, if you have delayed your benefits past your full retirement age and you suddenly find yourself in desperate need of cash due to an emergency or crushing inflation, you have the absolute right to demand a 6-month retroactive lump sum payout, which can instantly drop tens of thousands of dollars, up to $26,400, directly into your pocket. I know how overwhelming this can feel. The rules seem designed to confuse us, and the stakes could not possibly be higher. But you are not alone in this fight. By simply taking the time to learn these hidden rules, you have already put yourself ahead of 99% of the population. You are taking control of your financial destiny, and you are ensuring that the system works for you rather than the other way around. I want to hear directly from you about how these complex rules are impacting your life right now. Scroll down into the comments section below and tell me your experience. Have you ever had to fight with the Social Security Administration over withheld earnings? Or have you successfully claimed a retroactive lump sum? Share your story in the comments so we can continue to learn from each other and hold the system accountable.